win. It's time for you to reactivate your finances, your health. Are you ready to get your life? Well, this is your moment. Ready to get your life back on track? Get up. What are you doing? It's your time to reactivate.
Hey everybody, this is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner on Empowered Mornings. We'd like to invite you every Wednesday night, 8 p.m., uniquely and gorgeous, to keep your mind locked and loaded on WIN Network.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Marques Ford here. I'm trying something new. Now, if you can hear me, I need you to do me a favor. If you can hear me, I need you to put in the comment section a thumbs up and let me know that you can hear me. Put in the comment section a thumbs up and let me know that you can hear me. Do me a favor. I need everybody under the sound of my voice to do me a favor and like, comment, and share this video. Like, comment, and share this video. We're here live right now on Reactivate the Moment, where every Monday night we activate at 8. We activate at 8, and I appreciate you all for following me. All my followers on Instagram, Facebook, all my followers on X, otherwise known as Twitter, YouTube, my subscribers on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing up for your boy. Thank you for liking the videos, sharing the videos. Thank you for hanging out with me every Monday night so far at 8 p.m. And tonight is no different. Listen, I want to come to you live and direct. I'm here to encourage somebody and let them know that what happened to them is nothing but a setup. I'll say it again. What happened to you is nothing but a setup. It is a setup for something great. It is a setup for your purpose. It is a setup for your future. It is a setup for what you want to achieve and the goals you want to accomplish. In other words, your setback may have amused your haters. Your setback may have made them laugh. It may have caused them to talk about you. It may have caused them to ridicule you. It may have caused them to post about you. But guess what that setback is going to do? It's going to allow your comeback to confuse them. I'm going to say it again. Your setback amused those people that thought you weren't going to make it. But your comeback is going to confuse those same people that thought you weren't going to make it. How many of us on here now have had setbacks, have had moments where it seemed like things weren't happening? It seems like at one point in life where things were going up and up and up, it seems like everything was going great. It seemed like everything was going good. It seemed like your job flow was going good. Your money was looking good. Your relationship was looking good. Well, your status, your economical status was looking good. And then all of a sudden, things happen in our lives. Things happen in our lives to where it causes things to go down. It causes things to go topsy-turvy. It seems like things weren't working out the way we should. I mean, we've all had that high moment in our lives where things were going good. All of a sudden, life happens and things just start tumbling down. That's the way life happens. That's the way life does. It causes us to have setbacks. It's nothing but a setback. But what I've come to find out is that the people that are around you sometimes, there are people lying in wait. There are people that are around you. There are people that you may not know. They're looking for you to fail. They're looking for you to reach your demise. They're looking for your dream to become a nightmare. They're looking for your goal to not be fulfilled. They're looking for everything you've prayed for to not come to pass. They're looking for your prayers to be unanswered. And what they're doing is they're sitting back laughing at you. They're sitting back talking about you, hoping for you to fail. And the only thing that I can think of, one of the things rather, that I can think of that would cause them to laugh at you or cause them to want you to fail is the simple fact that they would rather be in your shoes than their own. It is the simple fact that they would rather have what you have. It's the simple fact that they would rather be where you are. It's the simple fact they would sometimes rather have the lifestyle that you have because they're envious of you. Some people are envious of who you are. Yeah, I know you may not have the most money. Yeah, you may not drive the best looking car. You may not live in the biggest house. But guess what? You're happy. And a lot of people don't like you when you're happy. A lot of people don't like you when you're at those moments where things are going good and you're smiling when you should be crying. They see you. They see you going through turmoil. They see you going through conflict. They see you going through down times, and they're wondering why you're still happy. They're wondering why you're still smiling. They're wondering why your relationship is still working. They're wondering why your friendships are still intact. They're wondering why you're still getting up at the same time every morning, not only with a smile on your face, but you got a little pep in your step. They're wondering why, and they're sitting back saying to themselves, how can I devise a plan? How can I devise a scheme to get them off that right track? How can I devise a scheme to get them off of who they are, where they are? How can I devise a scheme to get them off of that high horse that they seem to be on? How can I devise a scheme to where I'm able to sabotage what they have? I'm able to sabotage their blessing. What they're doing is they're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to fail. They're waiting for you to reach your setback. They're waiting for things to happen, for bad things to happen to you, so they can say, "Aha! I knew that they were going to reach their demise," or "Aha! I knew that they were going to reach their downfall," or "I knew that they weren't going to make it." But here it is. I'm here to remind you that even though they may be lying in wait, even though it may seem like they are trying and hoping for you to fail, the one thing that you have that they don't understand, the one thing that you have in your back pocket, the one thing that you have in your memory bank, the one thing that you have in your past experiences are, you've had those moments where not only have you been in that place before, not only have you reached that low plateau before, not only have you reached that low valley before, but you've been in a place where you were allowed, or you were given the strength, or you obtained the strength to come back better, greater, and more and stronger than you've ever been. So they didn't realize that this next season of your life is called your comeback season. They didn't realize that this next season of your life not only will cause you to come back, but it will cause you to come back stronger than you were. They didn't realize that this next season in your life, not only will it cause you to come back, but it will cause you to come back better than you once were. Why? Because you've experienced hurt before. You've experienced pain before. You've experienced frustration before. You've experienced being fatigued. You've experienced low self-esteem. You've experienced depression. And because you've experienced those things in your lives, guess what? You're able to say, you know what, if I made it before, if I was able to come back before, if I was able to be in a position like this before, then guess what? There's nowhere up for me, nowhere for me to go but up. So I'm here to encourage you tonight to continue to look up, to continue to push forward, despite of what your circumstance may be, despite of the way things may look, despite of how things may feel. Continue to push forward, because as long as you're pushing forward, as long as you're able to be in a position to go forward, guess what? Nobody will be able to block you. Nobody will be able to deter you. Nobody will be able to turn thumbs down on you. Nobody will be able to say to you, man, there's no way in the world you're going to make it. There's no way in the world that you're going to come back. There's no way in the world that you're going to come out of this situation. There's no way in the world that you're going to make it out of this, because I know your background. I know what you've been through. I know what causes you pain. I know what causes you frustration. I know what causes you to be tired. I know what causes you to lose your mind. I know how to push your button. There are some people in your life, some people around you that know how to push those buttons. They know how to, in other words, as my grandmama and my mama used to say, they know how to tap dance on that last nerve. They know how to make it seem like that you're about to lose your mind. But guess what? I'm here to tell you, sometimes you have to lose your mind in order for you to change your mind. Sometimes you have to lose your mind in order for your situation to turn around. Sometimes you have to lose your mind in order for your circumstance to come out better than it once was. No, I'm not saying you have to go crazy. No, I'm not saying you have to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. No, I'm not saying that you have to just go nuts and go ballistic, or as they used to say, go poster on somebody. But sometimes you have to be in a situation where things are happening to you and it's causing you to lose your mind, because that means that what's happening to you is, that means your comfort zone is being disturbed. That means your comfort zone is being rattled. That means where you are is not where you're meant to stay. And the reason why you're losing your mind right now, the reason why you're losing your mind in your situation, the reason why you're losing your mind in your circumstance, the reason why you're losing your mind, or it feels like rather you're losing your mind, is because you become in a place where it is time for you to come back. You become in a place where people are amused by your downfall. You're in a place where people are amused by what you're going through. You're in a place where people are lying in wait, and they're satisfied because you're failing. They're satisfied because they think you're not winning. They're satisfied with where you are because they think that you're not going to come out. But all you're doing is you're abiding your time. You're trying to figure it out, because you're losing your mind because you're trying to figure out what's your next move. You're losing your mind because you're trying to figure out where can you go from here. You're losing your mind because you're trying to figure out what more can happen. What more can you do? What more can you take? What more can we deal with? When now all of a sudden you've reached this point, and I'm here to tell you the reason why you're here, because you are about to move up, and you're about to move forward. You're about to move upward and onward, because they did not realize that the place where you are is exactly where you need to be. I'm going to say it again. They did not realize that the place where you are is the place exactly where you need to be. You're exactly you're a prime candidate for a blessing. You are a prime candidate for a breakthrough. You are a prime candidate for an answered prayer. You are a prime candidate for a promotion. You are a prime candidate for things to go your way. Why? Because things have been going the opposite for you for too long. Things have been going the opposite for you for too long, and you don't realize, and you don't understand that what's happening is that God is strategically putting you in a place to where you are about to receive your biggest blessing. You think that you're in your biggest frustration. You think that you're in your biggest circumstance. You think your circumstance is going to overwhelm you. You think your situation is here to sabotage you. You think that what you're feeling is meant to stay. It's going to last, because you don't know where else to turn. You don't know where else to go to. But I'm here to let you know, and to remind you rather, that you are a prime candidate for something good. In other words, as they say in the old Baptist church, something good is about to happen to you. Because you've been going through it, you've been dealing with it, you've been suffering from it, you've been reading about it, you've been posting about it. People have been talking about you. You've been putting posts trying to basically air out your feelings. You've been going to Facebook and Instagram telling people what's going on without really telling them what's going on. And all the while you're suffering. All the while you're dealing with some things. All the while you're confused. All the while you're heartbroken. All the while your head is hurting. All the while you're feeling some type of pain. All the while you're crying all night long. All the while you are dealing with a situation that you can't handle. And because you can't handle the situation, you have now become a prime candidate for a blessing. In other words, I'll put it to you like this. Let's say you are a fighter. You are a boxer. Check this out. Let's say you are a boxer, right? You are in the light heavyweight class. You're trained. You're a light heavyweight. But you want to fight in the heavyweight division. And in order for you to fight in the heavyweight division, you have to train. You have to train your body. You have to train your mind. You have to train your breathing. You have to train your thought process. But you think that you're ready for the heavyweights because you've been through certain things. You think that you're ready for the title shot. You think that you're ready for the title shot because you feel like that you've trained enough, and you feel like that you've gone through enough training and enough rigorous cardio. You've gone through all this, but guess what? Then you throw yourself into the ring. You say, you know, I'm ready. I can do it. I can take on the heavyweight champ of the world. And you throw yourself in the ring and you get knocked out in the first round. And what happens next is you come out of that match rethinking your life choices. You come out of that match rethinking what you did. You start thinking back on the things that you did to get to this point. And then you realize there are some steps that you didn't take that caused you to think that you were ready for a heavyweight championship fight. You didn't realize that even though, yeah, you got a promotion, you didn't realize that behind that promotion, you had to deal with co-workers that you didn't like. You had to deal with people stabbing you in your back. But because you got the promotion, you thought you were ready. So on the outside, it looked like you were ready. You had the body for it. You had the mind for it. You on the outside, it looked like you were ready for the fight. But on the inside, you weren't prepared because you weren't prepared for what you were not prepared for what was about to happen to you because you thought that you were physically fit, but mentally you were distracted. You thought that you thought you had nice hands, but mentally you were confused. You thought that you had good, quick feet, but mentally you weren't there because you didn't realize that behind your physique, behind who you were, there was somebody that was hurting inside. Why? Because they were still distracted from what happened to them before. In other words, the reason why you're not pushing towards your blessing, the reason why you're not pushing to where you need to be, the reason why you're not pushing to who you need to be is because you're still worried about those people that are distracting you. You're still worrying about those people that are talking about you. You're still worrying about those people that are here to sabotage you. I'm here to tell you this right now. I know it may sound funny. I know you may not agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm saying anyway, why? Because this is my platform and I can do it. But you need to let them sabotage you. Don't stop them from sabotaging you. Don't stop them from blocking your blessing. Don't stop them from pulling you back to who you once were. Don't stop them from doing it. I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean? Don't stop them from blocking my blessing? What do you mean? Don't stop them from pulling me back to where I once were? I mean, I prayed to get to where I am today. I've asked God to make me better. I've asked God. I fasted. I've done everything I could to get to the person I am today. Why are you telling me to allow somebody to pull me back to where I once were? Because every now and again, you have to realize and recognize where you came from in order to reach the potential that you're meant to be. Every now and again, you have to realize and recognize the pain that you experience in order for you to appreciate the blessing that's in front of you. Every now and again, you have to realize and recognize the heartache that you just came out of in order to experience the greatness that you're about to walk into. In other words, your comeback, there it is. You thought I missed my point. Your comeback is going to be so much greater because your setback did exactly what it was supposed to do. It set you back. It set you back. It makes me think of the game Sorry. I know it makes me think of the game Sorry. Sorry was one of my favorite games coming up. Sorry, one of my favorite games coming up. And what happened with Sorry is, when you play the game Sorry, you push the little bubble, boop, and the little dice and the inside ring around and it lands on some numbers. And you got to move your piece on certain numbers. You got to move your piece a certain way. But then here it is. Good God Almighty. But then here it is. You got a red color, yellow color, blue color, green color, right? You got 4 people playing. Only 4 people can play at a time. Here it is. I want you to catch this. 4 people can play at a time. So what you're doing is you think you're about to make it to the end. Next thing you know, you got people trying to beat you to your spot. And if they land on where you are, they can cause you it's a certain space in the game where they can cause you to go right back to the beginning. They can cause you to go right back to the beginning where you first started. And you're like, oh man, I was almost at home. I was almost able to reach. I'm about to come to my end. But then, oh man, they set me back. They set me back 10 paces. Have you ever played those games where they cause you to go back 10 paces, go back 5 spaces? But then what they don't realize is you still have another opportunity to make it to your destination. In other words, that setback that you experience was just a one indicator to let you know that, hey, don't worry about it, because guess what? You got three other pieces. You got three other pieces that you got to get back to that same spot. And guess what? Just because they set you back, or they caused the setback to happen in your life, if you look at them, they still have the same amount of pieces on the board. They have to get to their destination. And so what I'm saying is, what can happen to you and what can happen to your circumstance is, you can start off in one position. You can start off in frustration. You can start off in fear. You can start off in anxiety. You can start off in depression. You can start off in low self-esteem. But sometimes God has a way of turning that thing completely around to where your depression ends up being the same thing that pushes you to your destiny. To where that fear ends up being the same thing that pushes you to your future. To where that frustration ends up being the same thing that pushes you to fruitful blessings. To where that low self-esteem ends up being the same thing that pushes you to be the greatest version of yourself that you could ever be. Why? Because that setback allowed you to experience some things in your life that not only geared you up and prepared you, but it pushed you to your comeback. Now, I know you're asking, well, Marcus, how can I get to that point? How can I get to that comeback part of my life? I mean, how can I get to that place? Because I'm dealing with some things now. I don't know if I'm able to come through it. I mean, I'm dealing with some things now, and I don't know if I'm able to come out of this thing. I don't know if I'm able to reach that comeback part of my life. Well, guess what? It's all a part of the process. The setback that you're experiencing is a part of the process to reach that comeback. Here it is. The reason why for some of us, and for some of you that are listening to me right now, some of you, this may not be your comeback season. That does not necessarily mean that you can't and won't come back. It just means that this part of this season of your life may not be your comeback season. Your comeback season may not be today. So what you need to do, you need to trust the process that you're in. Trust the process that's in front of you. Trust the process that's present to you, that's present and presently in front of you. Because what this process is doing, the process is cooking up the comeback for you. The reason why this is not your comeback season yet is because you're not ready to come out of what you're in. Because guess what? Because God knows, and what happens is, God knows that if you came out of what you're in right now, you will not be able to, you will not be prepared to handle the blessing that he has for you. In other words, God's blessing for you is being prepared just at the same time as your comeback is being prepared. Your comeback season is put in along the same alignment as your blessing. So here it is. The bigger the comeback, the bigger the blessing. But if you come out of that comeback too soon, then guess what? Your blessing won't be fulfilled. Your blessing won't be done. In other words, I say it like this: for those of you that are bakers and that are cooks and that like to prepare meals, you know that if you prepare your meal too soon, it won't be edible. It won't be right. It won't be cooked all the way through. So what do you have to do? Put it back in the oven. You might have to put it back on the stove to allow it to cook a little more. But the reason why that happens is because we become so impatient with what we want. We become so impatient with what we desire that we don't realize that we are tainting the blessing that's in front of us. In other words, that food that you're preparing, that is your blessing. So in order for you to indulge, in order for you to get the idea of your food being great, you have to allow it to cook to the right temperature, the right time frame, the right allow it to cook at that right moment. In other words, if you pull that thing out too quick, if you pull that meal out too soon, if you take it off the stove too soon, it won't be edible for you, and it'll cause you to get sick. In other words, what I'm saying to you is, your comeback season is being prepared. If you jump out of your comeback season too soon, it will cause you to be sick. It will cause you to be more frustrated. It will cause you to fear more. It will cause you to sabotage yourself. You've been looking for other people to sabotage you, but you end up but sabotaging yourself because you allowed yourself to become impatient and not allow your comeback to brew and not allow it to simmer and not allow it to sit on that stove and sit in that pot, sit in that crock pot a little longer to reach the right temperature and the right moment for you to not only indulge, but for you to taste and see. I'm gonna get biblical real quick, to taste and see that the Lord is good and watch God work out the details of the blessing that he has prepared for you. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight, but I hope you hear me clear that your setback may have amused your haters. It may have caused them to look at you and smile and say, yeah, they about to fail. Yeah, they ain't gonna make it. Oh no, their relationship ain't gonna last. Oh yeah, I see it. Oh yeah, they about to get fired. Oh yeah, no, it's gonna happen. It may have amused them, but your comeback is gonna confuse them. Your comeback is gonna get them, is gonna say, how in wait a minute, hold on. I could have swore that she called or he called my phone crying last night about that no good man or woman. I could have swore that they text me for the past 2 weeks about this job that they didn't like. I could have swore that they were mad about the fact that they didn't have a high enough credit score to get that loan for that house. I could have swore that they didn't have a high enough credit score to get that loan for their business. But look, I go on Facebook and I say, and I see the caption, look, I did a thing. You know, we like to use that caption, you know, I did a thing. You know, when we like to post our pictures when we sign on that dotted line for the house we just bought. We like to take pictures in front of our car with the big bow on it to let them know we got us a new car. We like to post pictures of the new ring that you ladies get when you become engaged, or those crying pictures that y'all got when your friends post videos of I said yes, or he proposed, or I said yes to the dress. You know, we like to do those things. And that's just simply an indication of what God has done for you. And what those pictures represent, here it is. Those pictures represent an indication of what your future can be. That those pictures represent the indication of, if it can happen for me, it can happen for you. So what we have to understand is that when we get to those places in our lives where things seem like they aren't happening for us, when we get to those places in our lives where it seems like things aren't going about the way, or going the way that we want them to. Yes, we all have desires. We all have things that we want to happen our way. We all have things that we want to happen the way we want them to. But every now and again, sometimes our plans become awry. Sometimes our plans don't necessarily pan out. It's not because it's not meant to happen. It's not because you're not going to get what it is that you've asked for. It's not because you're not going to get the job. It's not because you're not going to get the promotion. It's not because you're not going to get the increase in your life. It's because there's simply a comeback season that's in your future. And what you're in a setback scenario. You're in a setback scenario. And what that setback scenario represents, it represents a place in your life where things aren't going to go the way that you want them to. This setback scenario is a place in your life where life pretty much happens, and it causes things to be flustered, and it causes things to kind of get jumbled up, and it causes things to kind of just be confusing in the moment. But what you have to do is stay in that scenario, stay in that scene. And what's going to happen is the scene won't end. The scene would just simply say, to be continued. Now, what's going to happen in that particular aspect, I like analogies. What's going to happen in that particular aspect is the people that was preying on your downfall, they're sitting there like anticipating for that failure to happen. They're anticipating for you to just get to that place where you're like, oh, here they come. Here it is. And right when they're at the edge of their seat, they're going to see a caption that says, to be continued. And what? Man, they were just about to lose it. They were just about to lose that house. They were just about to lose that job. They were just about to lose their car. They were just about to fail. The next thing you know, they're going to come back. They're going to come back in the next season. Good God. The next season is going to be your comeback season. Have you ever, we watch shows, we watch things, and it always, whenever we in one season of a show, it leaves us on a cliffhanger. We're anticipating, and we're anticipating what's going to happen to that individual, to that character, to those characters. Some of us have talks about it on Facebook, on social media, and we say, "Oh yeah, I believe that this is going to happen. I believe that is going to happen." Like, you have your own interpretation of what's going to happen next. That's how people are with us. People have their own interpretation of what's happening in our lives, and they're not even like. Ain't it funny? How in the world can somebody have an interpretation of what you're going through, and they haven't they haven't been through what you've been through, they haven't seen what you've seen, they haven't done what you've done, they haven't experienced what you've experienced, and guess what? They don't know the God that you serve. I don't want to get there, but it's taking me there. And that's what happens. They're anticipating you to fail. They have an interpretation of what's going to happen to you. But here it is. The next season of your life is about to begin. And that season is called the comeback season. And at the beginning of that comeback season, those people that have their own interpretation, they're going to witness and see that the interpretation that they had of you is a whole different scenario. Because they're going to understand, or you're going to understand rather, that your setback had them amused, but your comeback is definitely confusing them. So I want to encourage you to continue to confuse your enemies. Continue to frustrate those people that are around you, that are wanting you to fail. Continue to cause those people around you to not only be confused, but to be in disbelief. You're going to leave those people in disbelief. Why? Because that comeback, not only did it come back strong, but you came back so much better than you did before. Listen, I appreciate you for rocking with me tonight. That is my time for this evening. Listen, do me a favor. If you haven't done so already, I need you to go ahead and like, comment, and share this video. Like, comment, and share this video. Shout out to all the people that tuned in. Shan, Adrian, Antoinette, what's going on? Wanda, I see you. My brother Barney, Jessica, what's up, sis? I see you. I'm just shouting everybody out. Angela, thank you for tuning in out there. Athelia Goodrum, what's going on? Good to see you. It's so good to see everybody. I need everybody to share this video. Make sure you share, tag me in it. Also, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms right here at Facebook at Marques Ford. Also, Reactivate the Moment on Facebook, as well as on Instagram at mford23 as my personal page, and at Reactivate the Moment. That is my Reactivate the Moment page. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you will see all these videos and more on my YouTube channel. Listen. I appreciate you all for tuning in, rocking with your boy. Please be sure to meet me here, same time, same channel, right here, every Monday night at 8, where we reactivate. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time on Reactivate the Moment, next Monday at 8 p.m. I love you, and there's absolutely, positively nothing you can do about it. Have a great week, everybody. Peace out.